let's get into how y'all started the podcast, like how y'all met and everything. Like, how did this come into, this whole vibe?
Well, I was working with a couple of podcasters. They spread the name around, and 4K explained what he was looking to do.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I was looking for people that had something to say about local politics. There wasn't enough people doing that. And it was like people talking about everything else, though.
Local politics as far as what?
Jersey City. What's going on in Jersey City? You
Okay.
know, laws that are being passed in Jersey City, issues that we got. I would like to see more of that, more politically aware people, you know. So I met 4K. 4K is a soft-spoken but very affirmative speaker in the same light, and he knows what to talk about. So I was like, I want to stand behind this guy, in any way possible. So when we started, he found his lane and been sticking with me ever since. It took a while for us to start interviewing other people and stuff, but we was just trying to figure out what he needed to do, and we realized that together we had something together. Whether it was like funny and all of that, but it was still informative, and we don't mind going at it with each other for over something. There's no feelings,
Need that
involved,
Need that.
Yeah, because I think I had the idea to do a podcast maybe a year. We'll be doing it 3 years now. So a year before I even met Frankie, I was like going back and forth trying to decide what I want to do. Like I knew I wanted to do it. I just didn't kind of know where to start. So I just put it out there. I think it was on Twitter one day. I was like, yo, anybody in the studio in Jersey City, let me know. Somebody told me him. And like you said, we met and we just instantly clicked. And I explained to him what I wanted to do as far as, like he was saying, like Frankie was saying, there's not a lot of media outlets in Jersey City. You know what I'm saying? I think there's more podcasts there now because of what we're doing.
Right.
But before that, it was nothing for real.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided, when I told him, like, look, I want to kind of bring awareness to the city as far as like creatives, news, anything, because again, we don't have that. And he understood, him being a Jersey City artist, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's plugged in with all the creatives. So it was like a natural fit for real.
Right.
And from there, like, when we first started, it was like Frankie was saying, like we both kind of had to find our lane. You know what I mean? Like how we talk to each other, because it's not like we knew each other before we started recording, which is like a weird dynamic, because you would think, because if you listen to us now, you would think we know each other forever.
Yeah.
But it was like we built that friendship from working with each other. We be talking, and it's like, oh, you like that? Oh, I like that too. Oh, you know this person? Oh, I know this person too.
And it's not like
That's
CNN,
crazy how y'all did that.
where it's like, okay, Susan, da-da-da. It's really like, fuck that, and this and that, like.
This is me.
Yeah.
This is me. It was like
and
bringing a barbershop into the room and
Right.
just saying like, no holds barred. So you're going to get to know somebody faster, when they don't give a damn about anything. They just like, they don't feel like you're going to get in trouble over everything.
Absolutely.
So from like, how long were y'all acquainted? How long were y'all acquainted before like episode?
It was right away.
It was right away.
I think we met, I think the next week we started recording. Maybe something like that.
Because I was gonna say,
Man.
so basically from episode 1, if I was to compare episode 1 and episode 50, I could hear a difference in y'all voice tone because of y'all comfortability with each other. Because you probably like episode 1, you probably like first 48 in the room.
No.
Yeah.
We were
Like,
good.
yeah, I
We were good
I
because
like ice cream.
I'm a good listener, and in the beginning, nobody could, in the first situation, nobody could see us.
Yeah.
So they don't pick up little nuances. Like if he says something I agree with, and I'm like,
gotcha.
He knows I got him,
just
but you don't hear it.
Yeah. Right.
So it was like smooth sailing, but it was more one-sided. He was talking, and maybe I just agree, laugh, be surprised, genuine,
Right.
And then
He was on your death row shit.
yeah, quiet in the cut. But then he was like, yo, how you feel? How you feel about that?
Yeah.
And I'll divulge a little bit, and then as we got to know each other, he would laugh at some of the things I say, so I know what could fly. He's always like a good filter, because I can be unfiltered a lot of times.
Man.
But he knows that, like, he gonna let me fly and be like, yeah, that's cool, or please edit that out, sir.
Right.
We'll give you the timestamp.
Yeah, I'm like a translator, so to speak, because Frankie will say he'll be correct, but it'll just be too raw. Like, nah.
I kind of feel like I do that sometimes.
You need that.
He's the filter.
Yeah, I'm kind of like
he's my publicist.
Yeah. Low key, because like sometimes
you gotta change that title.
He could be a little more extreme. And I'm just like, but this is this is how it should be.
Nah, that's what I do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree.
Right.
But people don't understand like the context if they don't know the individual. They just hand it from snippets or clips, so it may come off a certain way. You gotta, like, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck them though.
It's not always about being, so it's not about being right. It's about just kind of
like
sharing the truth.
Yeah, like I know how Frankie is.
Need to be said.
So like I let him cook. Yeah. But then I just make sure, like, look, this is what he meant. I know it sound like this, but this is what he meant.
Right.
Just to kind of not throw the listener off too much. You know what I'm saying?
That's a very interesting story, though. It's the first time I think I've heard of a podcast starting with two individuals that didn't know each other prior. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you guys making it work, man. You guys have good chemistry.
3 years in.
Yeah, 3 years in.
Which is dope.
Like I said, and it worked out for us. That's why, like, our dynamic, like I tell them all the time, our dynamic is so unique because it's like we got to know each other through working with each other.
Right.
And if you follow the progression of the show, you can see, you know what I'm saying, that first, like, you hear, but I don't really know you like that for real.
Right. You ain't really too comfortable saying certain things.
Yeah, you hear the difference.
Even how he opened the show.
Yeah.
You'll hear it in his voice.
And now it's just like, that's bro. That's my brother for real. So it's like, he'll come in, like, because I usually do the intro.
Right.
It'll be episodes where he's like, nah, I got it 4K. And he just talking his shit. You know what I'm saying? And it creates this interesting dynamic to where even the listeners, like, they used to my voice. They used to my voice, or they used to kind of my tone. And then Frankie will come in with his energy. And it's a good balance. It's a good balance. I'll say that much.
That's dope. So I want to know both you guys' background. But starting with you, you said that you're very inclined in, like, the political lane and, like, knowing what's around the neighborhood and whatnot. What's your background?
As far as just like, what were you doing before the podcast and whatnot? Like, I was always into politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always into, like, journalism, things like that. And I was attempting to write a blog, but I was doing other shit that is not important.
Right.
But that didn't really fly. But I always had that passion towards politics. Like, I like knowing what's going on in my neighborhood.
Right.
And just being around certain individuals, it's like, you know, niggas from the hood, like, they kind of look at us like, oh, we don't really know anything, or we don't really care, or we don't want to know what so-and-so is doing. And everyone I was around, that's what we would discuss.
Right.
Like, what's going on in the city, what's going on nationally, this, that, and the third. So that always stuck with me. And then when I had the idea to do a podcast and I kind of looked at the landscape, like, yo, it's no one doing this. I just need to do it. You know what I'm saying? I just need to do it.
Especially with your dynamic, too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Jersey City is like a small town in a way. Everybody know each other. So he just happened to know names. You know, who these politicians are. Yeah. He knew, like, all the councilmen.
Really?
You know, he knows their names. He's on top of, yo, this happened this week with this person. So, you know, that is a underbelly of the politic game, you know. Even last week we talked about a politician getting locked up, you know, we'll go into that. So it's just, he's in the know.
Yeah.
And why not? You know, if there's something important to talk about, it might as well be that underlining, you know, changes that affect us all as a town.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because I be feeling like, it's especially, like, from our community, like, people feel politics are, like, sometimes above their head, and it's not.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was that nigga just watching C-SPAN for hours, waiting, trying to, until I figured this shit out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then once I got there and I realized, wait a minute, like, this is just regular shit. Like, y'all just using different words.
Right.
So I was like, nah, I just need to, if I got to translate for niggas who sound like me and look like me, I'm going to do that. Because it's all the same shit at the end of the day.
You know Key and Peele. Oh, you know, the Obama translator. That's basically what he is. Yeah, he'll just say, "This happened. Do you know what that mean?" And then he'll go into it, and we both end up making fun of him because it is usually some dumb shit.
It's just usually silly shit, and in politics they just hide behind all of these highfalutin words and all of that
ambiguity. That's what it is.
Ambiguity and all this legalese, and you just be like, you be like,
oh, this verbiage, shit's simple, but they trying to like they don't want the common man to
got a third grade education.
You know what I'm saying? Certain lingo to it, certain jargon to it.
So that's very important to me because even like, you know, Frankie's not really into politics. He's into it because I fuck with it.
Right.
Even when I bring it to him and he hears what I'm saying, he'll just be like, "Man, this mean this," and it'll be some regular shit.
Right.
So that's why I like. You know what I'm saying? So